I'm here and I'm teaching computer and financial literacy to 7th and 8th graders, and I teach keyboarding to 6th graders. It's really good to be back here. So some of your kids, if they're 6th graders, I will only have them for one period out of the day, but most of my day I teach computer and financial literacy. This particular topic, digital citizenship for teens, middle school edition, and I did have one for older kids too, is a topic that I hit on pretty hard in my computer and financial literacy classes, because this particular age, there's little tweens where they're not quite young child and they're not quite a young adult yet. They're right there in the middle and they can't decide if they want that lollipop or if they want to be treated like a grown-up, okay? And they kind of vacillate in between. So when they are online, they're kind of still very unsure with where they fit in. And this is where they make a lot of mistakes. Suddenly they got to the age where now they have a smartphone and they have a laptop and they have an iPad and they have all these devices and they have to learn, just like in real life, they learn how to act in school, they learn how to act at home. They have to learn how to act when they're online. And that's what digital citizen has to do with, how we act when we're online. And this is something that I try and start the year off with my 7th and 8th graders. I don't have 6th graders for computer and financial, but when I did have them, they got it also because it's that important. Sometimes in the morning, the kids will come in here and they will be so tired and say, why are they so tired? And here a friend texted them and they started talking and mom and dad just thinks that they went off to bed and everything is all fine. So if there's a way that you can put parental controls in your internet coming into the house, it's actually a good thing. Because they don't want to do it. It's kind of, they get sucked into it, they put that little Zoom go off, and they just want to look and see what it is, and then the next thing you know, a conversation is going. And the next morning, they're really tired in school because they didn't get enough sleep. So that's one of the things where I always like to start, where we have to watch how many hours they're actually spending on these things, because just about every single class when they're in here, they're on the computer for a certain amount of time. So we're living in the digital age, and that's not unusual. This is like real normal for us. Go back a few years, you go back 10 or 15 years, a lot of stuff that we do today would have seemed really, really strange. Oh, we can't be online that much. But we're on the line all the time. Digital, electronic media, websites, software, ebooks, all their books are online, MP3 files, blogs, virtual spaces, everything. But cyberspace is out there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We are never disconnected. We can jump online any time of the day or night and talk to somebody on the opposite side of the earth if we want to. Think about that. That is a huge, huge responsibility for an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old, if they can go on and talk to anybody they want to and be on any site 24 hours a day. So we have to really think about what they're doing, because we're adults and we get confused by a lot of the things that are out there. Imagine our children who are 11, 12, 13 years old. This is confusing for them when they go out there and they don't know who to trust and who not to trust. They have to make these decisions, and that's a hard decision for an 11-year-old to make. Okay? So digital citizenship encompasses the entire thing. It's the norms of appropriate, responsible behavior with regard to technology use, any kind of technology use. Whether it's emails or it's text messages or it's websites or it's shopping online, all of this, it has to be responsible behavior. So this term covers everything. Appropriate behavior on technology, covers netiquette, which is how you're supposed to act when you're online. Cyberbullying, how you're supposed to treat people when you're online.
Online safety and privacy, what you should type into websites and how much information you should give them. In school, copyright infringement. Every time they go out into the internet to get information, they have to realize that if they take somebody's words, that not only do they have to change it to their own words, they have to give credit where credit is due. And that's a real hard thing. And that even has to do with pictures online. Lots of pictures are copied. And then they'll say to me, Mrs. Bodine, this picture won't let me copy it. And I said, well, that's probably because it's copyrighted and the person that belongs to doesn't want it copied. And it's hard for them to understand. But this is an overwhelming array of skills that we have to teach them, all these different areas. And it's really, really a lot. I think I went too far. So, digital footprint. This is the biggie here, because a digital footprint, this is a new term. Like the past couple of years, we started talking about digital footprint. All the information online about a person, either posted by that person or other people about them, intentionally or unintentionally. If they happen to be filling out a form, if they happen to be on a blog and they leave a comment, if they go on, say, Facebook and they update their status and say, oh, here I am, wherever, in Las Vegas or wherever they are, checking into that location, emailing a friend, instant messaging a friend, visiting a website, using a search engine, everything you do online leaves a trail. Nothing ever disappears. And when I tell this to kids that it's permanent forever, every single thing you do online can be traced back to you. Every single computer has an IP address. Every single thing can be copied by anybody. And you might go in and delete something and say, oh, I made a mistake, I took that off. Nothing is ever permanently deleted once it's out on the web. Once you put it out there, it is out there forever. And that's what we have to let these kids understand. Forever to an 11-year-old means nothing. Forever, like they're thinking, oh, you mean it'll be there for a week? Like they don't really concept when they graduate from high school and they apply to a college. This college is going to be checking their digital footprint to see what type of person they are, okay? When they go and apply for a job, the person that is interviewing them is going to check their digital footprint. When you go home, do yourself a favor. Go to Google yourself, Google your children, Google your address, and see what's out there, okay? You'll probably find more than you imagine out there because everything is recorded somewhere. And they have to understand that everything they do is recorded. If they put a picture out there and they say, oh, I made a mistake, and they take it down and they think it's going to be down, it's not down. Because somebody else could have saw that picture on that particular website at the same time and taken a screenshot of it, put it into an email, and sent it out to the entire school. So this is the kind of thing that they have to understand is never gone. Everything you do online leaves a trail. This is their digital footprint. I have a whole bunch of little links on every one of my pages so that if you want more information about what I'm talking about, this particular site is really good for your digital footprint. So you'll be able to get to these links. This is going to be posted online so that you can get to all the links that I have on here. Tips to keep your digital footprint safe and your child's. Always remember, whenever you are on a site, to not only log out of the site, some people leave it open where they can just click on it and it opens right out. Log on it so nobody else can get logged in as you. And if you are on a public computer, boy, you really have to be careful. Don't ever put your password into a website when you are using free public Wi-Fi. So how many times I'm in the airport and the airport will be mobbed, and I see people on their iPads and they're logging in and they're putting their passwords in there. They have no idea who's around them intercepting the password that they're putting in there. Don't take a chance. When you're on public Wi-Fi, do not put a password in there. Okay? Remember, all of the websites that you visit are going to take note of your visit, and they're going to track your websites. They're going to put cookies on your computer, and they're going to be able to see what websites you went before them, what websites you went after them, and they're going to be able to try and sell you merchandise. They're going to be advertising towards you. So the next time you go on to Google, or you go into Amazon, or you go to some other website, you're going to see all these advertisements for things that you've recently looked at. And you're going to say, I'm in Comcast and I'm signing into my email and they know everything that I'm interested in. That's because they've tracked everything that you've done. When you sign up for a social media site, or when you buy something, remember all your personal information is managed, it's saved, it's stored, it's shared, it's circulated, and sometimes they even sell it. Okay, nice long list to people who want to sell you things. Oh, we know this person is interested in these things. So this is the kind of stuff that you have to remember, that wherever you go, there's going to be a digital footprint of you being there. I gave you a whole bunch of information here on Common Sense Media. This particular website has lots of good things here about digital citizenship. And I gave you 3 different links, all of them on social media here. And this one is about your digital footprint and your reputation. Right now, while I'm talking about reputation, that's one of the things that we really want to protect in our children when they're going online, and they have to know the difference between what's appropriate and what's not, and the line gets a little bit fuzzy. I have a book here that I've read over the summer. If you go to the library and you get a hold of this, it's a really good book, and it gives you examples, real examples that really happen to people. They change the name, they tell the whole story, and it starts out as a really innocent scenario where a child didn't think anything of it, and they did something particular that ended up being disastrous. Okay? So it's a real eye-opener. There's this book, and there's another book called Sophie Takes a Selfie. Okay, and you can imagine what that book is about. You can get these books at the library, or you can get them online, and they're really good information. You read the book first, okay? It's about protecting their reputation, all right, because it's going to stay with them forever. They do something that they regret when they're 11 or 12 or 13, it's going to stay with them forever. So you want to be able to protect them from this kind of stuff. You're going to read the book first, and then make sure that your child, whichever part, make sure that a lot of kids don't want to sit down and read a book. So you might be able to highlight the parts that you really want them to take notice of. Or maybe your children listen better when you just talk to them about it. You've read it and you tell them about the story, and then that works a little bit better. So, I have other websites on here about self-image, because with all these websites where they're posting their pictures, has a lot to do with self-image. It really does. And in middle school, they're really vulnerable when it gets to be self-image. It's like they're all comparing each other and who has what and who does what. And this is a big thing with our little tweens, self-image. Cyberbullying. Kids will say things online when they're not looking at a person that they would never do. They would never hurt another child's feelings face to face, because they would see the look on their face and they would know that this is wrong. But when they're sitting behind a computer and they can't see the face, sometimes it gets away from them. Okay, and they have to remember that when they send something out, and if it's hurtful, there's going to be another child or whoever sitting on the other side, that it's going to hurt them. And tone of their emails and tone of their messages. They've got to read it over a couple of times, because something that doesn't seem like it's hurtful When the other person reads it, they're reading it completely different because the tone of the message wasn't taken into account. I have a whole separate area about Snapchat because kids have a really false sense of security with Snapchat. And they use it all the time. Just about every child in middle school, if I ask them about Snapchat, they have a story to tell me about it. This particular photo and video sharing app promises the kids that their photo is going to only live when they post it online from 1 to 10 seconds. And then it's going to disappear. Okay? And I tell kids, don't believe it. When you put something online, it never disappears. It might disappear from Snapchat, but that photo is still out there, okay? So they put it on there, and there's one of their friends somewhere takes a screenshot of it and saves it to their computer, and the picture disappears. And maybe it was a picture that was maybe a little embarrassing to them, and then that other child puts it into an email and sends it out to half of the school. And the child thinks that this picture was going to disappear in 10 seconds. You got to make sure that you drum it into your children's head that nothing ever disappears online. It's there forever. The internet and anything you put online is there forever and always be traced back, okay? And it'll come back. What do I have for you? I have a parent's guide to Snapchat right here. So if this is something, the link is there and it comes up as a parent's guide to Snapchat. So if your children are using Snapchat, go on, read the parent's guide. There's a bunch of other links inside here that'll be good for you. If you have questions, you
At this point, we'd like to invite all parents down to the cafeteria. When you enter the cafeteria, to your right, there's going to be a box on the stage where you should put your passport, and that is what we will use to pull prizes from. Thank you.
I hope that it makes a difference in your children's life. Thank you.